Good day, all you beautiful people. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox show. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and today's show is Clapping Your Heart and Lungs for Health. So if you haven't ordered your Doc of Detox clapper, do it now and unleash the physical bonds that bind you, because we will be starting the whole Clapping for Health series after the long weekend of September the 7th. Now understand something. This is probably my most powerful personal take action gift that I can give to the world. All right? I've been working on this project for probably maybe 9 months. We're actually going to be giving you a PDF file that you can read and really understand that you have been sold the wrong information. Because understand something. When you bruise, okay, you're already sick. So if somebody were to work on you and you bruise, or if you clap and you bruise, or you bump into something and you see a purple or black or a brown or a green bruise, these all mean something. It's called body talk. It's Chinese Oriental medicine that dates back thousands of years. And I want to give this as a gift to you. And I want you to understand something, that when you start clapping, you will hold the power in your hands, because every physical block slows down your circulation. And it's all about circulation. You know that you can tell how long somebody's going to live by their circulation. Your microcirculation is going to tell you everything about yourself. How long you're going to live, what you're going to die of, or what you're going to thrive, and how long you're going to thrive. Thank you for joining me for the show today, everybody. And understand, if you've got any health questions about clapping, emotional, nutritional, or detox, please put them down underneath here, or you can save them and send them in live on Monday's live Q&A at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? And understand something, next Wednesday, okay, is how to become number one at the art of number two. This is probably the most important series that I've done. And this will be shown on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then the following Monday, I will be doing all Q&As for that show. And understand something. Think about this. Most practitioners have been taught to attack the Holy Grail, and that's your large intestine. Think about it. Think about how the medical system treats your large intestine. Think about how even natural health care treats it. And understand something. Once you make your large intestine the priority of all the organs in your body, wait till you see how you rise to your greatness. Also, join me for the 6-day advanced water fasting challenge starting on Thursday, October the 8th. Let's get started. Welcome to the Doc of Detox show, everyone. The show that helps you grow. Today's show is Clapping for a Healthy Heart and Lungs. The reason why I'm doing this show today is to teach you that almost all pain, suffering, and disease that we experience in our bodies are physical blocks. But before anything else, they were emotional blocks. But guess what? You've been blocked from this information. If you understood that you are a light energy emotional being, then you would master your mind, which means then you would master your physical body. So let's take a look at what happens when we do not master our mind, because what happens is we store issues, emotional issues, in our tissues. Look, over the last 35 years, I have perfected 2 techniques, one being Wolfe non-surgical, which goes way beyond any other therapy when it comes to restoring tissue, muscles, and joints, and even your spine. And the second being pelvic floor restoration, which is the key to restoring 85 to 90% of all physical conditions when combined with the Perfect Day protocol. Now understand something. What is the Perfect Day protocol? Well, go to my library, click on the Perfect Day guide, and then go in and take a look at page 40, and you'll understand what the Perfect Day protocol is. I think we can all agree that to have and keep vibrant health, you must have great circulation. But to have great circulation, you must focus on microcirculation first and foremost, which makes up 74% of your body's circulatory system. This being arterioles, venules, and tiny lymphatic capillaries. Look, I want you to try to get this. Everybody talks about arteries and veins, but understand something. When you've got varicose veins or you've got arterial problems like high blood pressure or arterial sclerosis, okay, or where your blood is just so thick and dark because of lack of oxygen, understand something. That means that you've got major problems in your microcirculation. See, what people do not get is this, is that 74% is microcirculation. Only 26% is your veins and arteries. So here's the deal. Look at your veins and arteries as the main highway that you travel through the city. Okay? So that would be the main circulation through your body as far as just larger arteries and veins. But it's, guess what? It's the arterioles. It's the venules. And it's the little lymphatic vessels that will tell you how long you're going to live and how strong you're going to live. Do you want to know something? It wasn't just until a couple of years ago that this whole telomere thing blew up in everybody's face. They said that your telomeres would tell you how long you're going to live, how strong you're going to live. And guess what? They're wrong. Do you know what the main thing is? It's microcirculation. By taking a look at microcirculation, okay, how good it is and where it is in the body, we can tell what a person's going to die of, get sick of, how long they're going to live, and the quality of their life. So here's the deal. Like I said, your arteries and your veins are like the main highways going through the city. But how are you ever going to get home? Now let's call home perfect health. So the reality is that if you don't have side streets, okay, to get back to your house, then there is no health. So we have to make sure, because there's a lot more side streets than there is highways, right? And those side streets are your microcirculation. So the quality of those side streets is the quality of your health so that you can get home, which is perfect health. Okay? So let's take a look at it. Varicose veins. Well, varicose veins, we know that when you have varicose veins that you've been constipated forever and a day. We know that you've been dumping waste into your, into what? Into your blood, which is what? Congests your veins, because your veins get congested because your heart pumps your arteries, then it goes from your arteries, then it goes to the veins. So the veins don't have a lot of pressure. That's why with veins, we need to exercise. That's why with veins, we better make sure that we're eating right, we're living right, we're drinking right, we're thinking right. High blood pressure is just where, you know what? Your blood is moving so slow, or there's a thickening inside your arteries, and guess what? They're actually getting thicker inside. So now the same amount of blood has to flow, but in a smaller volume. That's high blood pressure. Arteriosclerosis is just where you're getting fibrin and cholesterol built up around the inside of the veins. Because why? Because you have so much inflammation in your arteries, okay? And that means you have so much inflammation because you have an acidic pH problem, all right? So, and then stiff joints, same thing. Calcium crystallization, scar tissue formation, okay? Constant low-grade pain. Again, we're too acidic. Breathing problems. Well, you don't get breathing problems till you have bowel problems. You don't get breathing problems till you have circulatory problems, and especially circulatory problems in the lungs, meaning microcirculation is down. So now you're getting all this inflammation, which causes this mucus congestion. And all of these, we can go back to the biggest artery in the body, and it's called what? It's called your large intestine. Yeah, but but Darrell, the large intestine isn't an artery. Yeah, well, guess what? It is responsible for getting rid of the waste more than any other tube. It's the main tube, okay? So you may not realize this, but your lymph cells are a little bigger than your normal body cells. And when they die off, they can what? Block up microcirculation even more than other cells in the body. So here's the deal. You need to get this. You can't have lymph congestion. You can't have a lymph problem unless you have a constipation problem for years. Oh, but I'm not constipated. It's not what comes out. It's what stays in. And it's called leaky gut. You are absorbing the worst putrefactive waste, and it's all happening in the large intestine, or the greatest part of it. About 85% of it happens in your large intestine. So, and also when you back up waste in your large intestine, guess what? You back up the waste in your lymph system, because your lymph system dumps into your large intestine. So we know that we got to look after the colon. We know that we got to look after the liver. We want to do daily cleansing on the colon, and we might want to do daily cleansing on the liver for a while, which is called what? The ultimate coffee enema. So please check that out. Okay, so clapping will clear up microcirculation and our macrocirculation by helping to eliminate these dead lymph cells. So with your lymphatic system, understand this: you have way more lymph than you have blood supply. And your lymphatic system, the lymph, does not move like blood. It's like molasses. So that's why we really need to be on top of our lymph system. And that's why so many people are having lymph problems today. That's why people are blowing up like puffballs. You know, it's called the puffball syndrome. All right. So again, I'm going to say this: gentle daily cleansing, and also look at the ultimate coffee enema. So until you remove the physical blocks that are disrupting and blocking your energy, you will be conflicted on many levels. We must take massive personal action to erase and remove all the visible and invisible blocks that bind us and blind us if we wish to go with the flow and truly grow on all levels. Look, the invisible part of you holds your true power. Let me explain. We're going to get to clapping, I promise. But for those of you that are new, I need to give you a foundation to come from so that your subconscious mind accepts this new information I'm telling you. So here we go. Everything starts off as an image in life. I mean, this is scientific, right? Everything starts off as an image by the brain. Then it goes to a thought. Your thought then goes to an emotion, energy in motion, which creates a frequency, which creates your personality, which creates your reality. Now, what if your personality was one of not thinking you're worthwhile, one that you have a lot of hate for certain things, or you have a lot of low vibrational frequencies and emotional things that you can't process properly? Well, guess what? Before your body ever gets sick, your mind is sick. And you're not sick, but you have sick beliefs. Look, this is why today we're going to show you how to clap your lungs, okay, to health, how to clap your heart to health. Because your heart is the recorder of your emotions, especially when it comes to love. Come on, I won't go into it here, but all you need to do is start watching some of my other videos, and you would understand that it's self-love, not love. It's self-care, not health-care. And you would understand this, that every time that your heart is broken, you break your heart on an emotional level, it gets broken on a physical. Every time you feel like your heart is empty on an emotional level, it happens on a physical level. Every time that you feel like your heart hurts on an emotional level, you're hurting it on a physical level. And understand something, heart disease is the main killer in this country, and there's a reason why. Because we're taught not to love ourselves totally, always judging ourselves, not just observing and learning, but actually creating a burning. Okay, so let's not forget that thought form always comes before physical form, such as the quality of your blood, your lymph, your intercellular and extracellular fluid. Let me tell you something, whether you believe this or not, right from a pimple to a boil, to a cyst, to crystallization, to calcification, pulling calcium from your bones and having like gallstones, kidney stones, calcium deposits in your breast, internal scar tissue formation, adhesions, fibroids, tumors, surgical scars. This all comes first from what? Okay? It all comes from an emotional form, then becomes a physical form. And guess what? So now we know that we need to what? Change our mind from being a landmine and something that works with us. But that's not why we're here today. We're going to go in today and go get rid of all those emotional issues that became physical issues that are locked down in your tissues, your organs, and your joints. Okay. So before I go further, I just want to say this. To learn more about physical blocks, read from page 5 to 53 in the A to Z Wellness Masterclass. Okay? Now, how are you going to get my masterclass free? Send me an email to quickstart@docofdetox.com. That's quickstart@docofdetox.com. So, let's continue. So, for most of the population, I can say this. Welcome to the acid trip of unconscious living. Okay? What I'm talking about is we are talking about your invisible blocks, otherwise your emotions, which eventually become physical blocks. Otherwise, issues in your tissues, such as mucus congestion, crystallization, internal scar tissue formation, adhesions, surgical scars. And guess what? Surgery causes more scar tissue in the human body than anything else. And I'm telling you something. You're going to want to get rid of that because these surgical scars will wrap themselves around your small intestine, large intestine. They'll wrap around your pubic bone, around your ovaries, your fallopian tubes. They will choke off circulation that you can't even poop properly. Okay? You'll feel tugging and pain. Let's say if you had like a hysterectomy, okay? Or let's say you had a myomectomy, you're going to have all kinds of scar tissue down in your pelvis. If you had what? A cesarean, okay? You're going to have tons of scar tissue wrapped around your small, large intestine and even your pubic bone. I've seen people where these adhesions are 2 to 3 inches long wrap themselves around the intestines. And I'm going to tell you something. You're going to want to go in there with Wolfe Non-Surgical, and you're going to want to go in there and take action, personal action, and do the clapping. You can use your hand, but we're going to show you how to use a Doc of Detox clapper, okay? All right. So fibroids, tumors caused from constant low-grade inflammation and acidic internal environment. Because of what? Because of a diet that's not based on whole plant-based foods and nutrition. We can no longer live unconsciously. We've become an inflammation nation. Understand something. Everybody's waiting for the cure. There is no such thing as cure. There is such thing as self-love and self-care. As far as I'm concerned, that would be the only cure. Getting something cut out of your body is not curing you. You know, always ask yourself, what caused the problem? Not just, hey, can I take a shortcut to get rid of it? Because understand something, you were given a beautiful temple to house your spirit. And unless you're going to take massive personal action to learn how to create the perfect day from the minute you wake up in the morning until you go to bed, you're going to be in trouble. Because Superman's not coming. You're going to have to be the hero of this story. So let's show you how to release the invisible bonds that bind you by taking massive personal action today through self-care and self-love. Why should you learn how to clap and pat your body? Well, let me explain something. Okay, did you ever have a jar and you wanted to clean something out of it? You filled it maybe halfway and then you shook it, right? Well, that's what clapping does. I'm going to show you. This is what clapping does. Also, did you ever hear those vibration machines? Well, you get vibration, agitation. Well, that's what we want to do, is we want to agitate things. What? Why? Because when we do clapping, patting, what we're doing is we're bringing up the heat, the temperature, and when you do that, you melt crystallization. When you bring up the heat and the temperature, that means you're bringing up the blood flow, which means you're going to take that beef jerky that's inside of you that's causing you to be stiff and lose your range of motion. You know what? I can't make my arm go straight anymore. I don't know why. Or I can't close it, okay? Or I can't open my hands up. They're stiff. Or they're telling me that I have to get a hip replacement, a knee replacement. They have to get a rod in my spine. They're telling me that I need to get mesh put in my abdomen. They're telling me that I need a stent in my heart. Okay, so all of this is caused by scar tissue and crystallization and displaced calcium. But just think, if you were to increase the blood flow, increase the heat, because you get rid of those blocks. You got to look at it this way. A river. For every beaver dam that's on the river, the slower the flow of the river. So all of that garbage is going to pile up at every beaver dam. And guess what? Until you get to a point, that it no longer a flowing river, it becomes a swamp. And with every swamp, a swamp has bugs. And what are those? Viruses, bad bacteria, worms. Do I need to go on? People talk about the flu. They talk about viruses a lot. But understand something. Only sick people get the flu. Now, why do we get the flu? We get the flu because our body's trying to detox. But today, the flu has been made to be into the enemy. So, unconscious living gives us the flu. But the reality is the flu is not the problem. It's the way we're living. We need to take personal action. And that's why I'm teaching you about this clapping today. Padding and clapping. So here's the deal. Padding and clapping increases the heat, increases the temperature, increases the circulation, increases oxygen and nutrition, and detoxification. Hey, you can't just sit there. Do you want to become a statue? Do you want all these roadblocks? Do you want all these physical blocks that jam up your energy? Because your energy may be invisible, but understand something. It's the most important part of you. Clapping, whether with your hand or with a Doc of Detox clapper, this is a non-invasive, natural way to help you build up your immune system and restore your joints and tissues. This is a great addition to add to your Perfect Day protocol. And like I said, if you want to learn about the Perfect Day protocol, go to the Doc of Detox library, go to chapter Your Perfect Day. It's called Your Perfect Day. Go to that chapter, all right, and take a look at the schedule. So let's get clapping, okay? First, let's break in our clapper. I mean, some of you don't. You just got your hands. The reason why I have a clapper before we get started, I'll tell you why. I'll clap any part of my body, which I'm going to be showing over the next 2 months. I'm going to show you every different part of your body that you can clap. And understand something. This is not going on Facebook. This is not going on YouTube. You're going to have to go into my library, the Doc of Detox library, to see all the clapping classes. What we will do, we'll put notification on YouTube and Facebook, and we'll put notification out to everyone when I'm going to do another part of the body, okay? So that's what we're going to do, because guess what? Some people won't understand this. It's like, what, are you kidding me? I'm going to clap myself? Okay. So if you have a clapper, when you get it, you want to break it in. When they come fairly stiff. And the reality is that you want your clapper to be really, not like beef jerky, but to be really flexible, right? So if you take a look at mine, look at, but I even have the end flexible. So it makes it softer. So, because you may not know this, well, of course you wouldn't, but the reality is I'd say 5 nights a week, I clap my vagus nerve, my neck, and I clap my face, and I clap my head. It really helps me to just, I feel so peaceful after, because I always want to put myself into a parasympathetic state and get rid of any tension that's built up during the day. Because as you can tell, I do a lot of different things, and I love an exciting life, but you got to know how to blow it off. Okay, either blow it off or blow up, right? Okay, so clapping and padding should always be done on bare skin. But because this is a family show, I'll be demonstrating this with clothes on, and I'll be doing that wherever I have to. But when I show, like, let's say the feet, the ankles, the legs, the knees, the upper legs, I can show it with skin, right? But when it comes to certain places like the pelvis, the abdomen, or the back, we'll be going through things, but I'll have my clothes on. But you'll be able to picture it, but never try to clap and pad through the clothes, okay? All right? All right. So now, it should always be done in a natural rhythm. Not too fast and not too slow, okay? So, if you're clapping, you see you get that natural rhythm. Now, remember something. When you start, your subconscious is going to go, my gosh, what are you doing? That hurts. You're not supposed to hurt yourself. Well, you're not hurting yourself. This is called tough love. I need everybody to get this, all right? The only reason why this seems strange to you, because we always talk about abuse out there. Well, this is not abuse. This is about taking action. You know, how would you like to be able to get rid of a fibroid? How would you like to get rid of a joint problem? How would you like to get rid of a pain that you've had for years? Okay? So you can either continually go from treatment to treatment, or you can become the master of your life. So you just make that decision and understand something. If their program was working so good out there, then why are you still in pain? Why are you limping? Why are you stiff? Why do you have inflammation? Why should you trust me? You shouldn't. But at least give me a chance. At least give me a chance. Start off gentle, with gentle baby steps. And then with everything I'm going to teach you from now on until I decide, whatever that is, I decide to leave the planet, or I decide that I don't want to do this anymore, everything I'm going to do is to empower you. I will never hurt you, okay? I will never hurt you, and I will never lie to you. And just because it sounds different, just because it sounds foreign, please, it's not wrong. Understand something. Take a look at the herd today, where they're going, and then ask yourself, do you need to break away from the herd? Would you like to become the master of your body? That's all I want to do for you, nothing else. I mean, seriously, okay? That's all I want to do is to help you and to support you, because we're in this together, all right? So understand something. Clapping tones and tightens your skin. Would you like more toned skin? And guess what else it does? It unties the knots deep within your body, okay? So understand something. When we talk about clapping, we're talking about tough love, all right? We're talking about you taking action. So start off with gentle baby clapping and patting, and then gradually increase the intensity. So this would be patting. You see how light that is? That would be patting. Then we're going to increase it. Now I feel just a little bit of sting. So I tell everyone, you know what? If you want, watch something on TV to get your mind off of it, or just focus on something outside, or just close your eyes and focus on something beautiful. And don't become the sting. Don't become the little bit of pain you're having, okay? Sit on the sidelines and know it's therapeutic. Now watch this, and I'll go up higher and higher. This doesn't bother me anymore. I'm serious. It doesn't bother me. Now, when you do the clapping, you see how I use my hand more like this? If you go like this and you've got a stiff hand arm, you're going to get exhausted and it's going to hurt. But, so when I do this, I never get any black, green, or brown spots anymore. I used to have some, but now you can see it just goes red, right? And it should be red. Okay, but look if that's red, what does that mean? Does that mean that that's dangerous to me? Or does that mean that I just increase the blood flow, the heat in this area? Well, if you're not going to increase the blood flow and the heat, how are you going to melt the crystallization? How are you going to get the blood flow to actually get rid of any displaced calcium to start moving it out? And it's not like you're moving chunks out. You're going to have a heart attack. It just gets your circulation so your body works better to replace the calcium back into this joint area. And how are you ever going to take beef jerky scar tissue if you're not going to put the life back into it? Remember something, you're only stiff because that tissue has no life in it. And with the increased blood flow, increased circulation, increased temperature, increased heat, you're now instantaneously almost bringing life back to that tissue. So it's not like you're getting rid of the scar tissue and it's going to float away, because it never had to. All you're doing is, the reason why we have beef jerky scar tissue is because the oxygen, the nutrition, okay, the life force, that invisible force has left that tissue, and we're going to restore it. We're going to restore what was meant to be there. So start off with gentle baby clapping and patting, and then gradually increase the intensity. And you know what? I use this more often, because when I do this, you know, you always want to do about 15 minutes on an area. 3 minutes, you'll have some effects, but to have really good therapeutic effects, I'll be going through this again, is 15 minutes. And understand something, I'm going to go there quicker, right? Now look at that. Now, that stings me, right? But I don't become part of the pain. Understand something. When I'm 85, 90 years old, 95, 100 years old, and I have my flexibility and I have all my health, when my parents both passed away of cancer, and most of my relatives either from cancer or heart disease in their 50s, go figure. That's not going to be me. And it doesn't have to be you. All right? So, how intense you go is up to you. Always start with gentle baby steps to allow your subconscious and unconscious mind, which is your body, to get used to the fact that this is a therapeutic technique. Look, I don't expect you, I don't expect your family, I don't expect anybody to understand this, and that this has been around for 10,000 or more years, and that people have done this before. And you're not going to hurt yourself. You might feel a stinging, but understand something. Do you want to get your blood flow back? Do you want to get your circulation back? Do you want to bring life back to those tissues? Let me tell you something. Go ahead. Go to get chiropractics. Go do all the different treatments. And yes, they all have their purpose. But when we can do something for ourselves, understand, I put this clapping and patting together for my patients. Because understand this, when I told you about Wolfe non-surgical and also the pelvic restoration therapy we do, there's nothing like it. When we add the clapping onto our protocol, I'm telling you something. We took impossible and made it possible. We took people that were told they would never walk again. We took people that were already booked just 2 weeks from now, let's say, and they came to us, and we proved in the first treatment with Wolfe non-surgical that when we get in and restore the blood flow, and when they go home and keep the padding and clapping up, see, the padding and clapping is really something that is to maintain your health. It's not something we use to try to turn around a chronic problem, because it's very difficult that way. But I want you to utilize this, and I want you to get going, because I want to prove to you that, because I will prove to you that I'm right. And that if you ever come for Wolfe non-surgical, and you take one of our certification courses, or you come for a personal treatment and training, or we come to your home and teach you. So that's why I'm doing this. I want to prove to you that we have the holy grail of turning around and making possible the so-called impossible. So if you're somebody out there that they said to you, nope, nothing we can do, it's surgery and drugs, I want to tell you to give us a chance. And guess what? If I'm wrong, you don't pay us. How's that? There it is right there. So let's get back to clapping. The minimum time to clap on an area is 3 minutes. But to experience therapeutic benefits of clapping and patting, 15 minutes on each area is the minimum you should do. And that's to really start to get the therapeutic effects going. But understand something. I've clapped and patted an area for 60 minutes. And I'll tell you something. You can go that long. Let me say something. So if you've got a 15-foot hole, am I going to give you a 5-foot ladder? No. So at least do 15 minutes. Okay? So understand, the more chronic the problem, the deeper the hole, the longer the ladder. The more pain you feel, the more emotional and physical blockages you have. Did you get that? We must stop running away from pain. We must meet pain head on and use it as a GPS tool it was created to be. God created pain to be our GPS, not to put us into pain or to torture us. It was to tell us lovingly, Darrell, you're off track. So when you tell pain to shut up or you ignore it, then your life will become a living hell. So understand, let's make pain a friend. When you start clapping, your skin will first turn pink, you see? Okay? Then red as you keep going, and for some, even purple. And then maybe even darker. So understand something, mine never goes purple. So when it goes purple, that means that, okay, you don't have a blood disease. It's just that you've got infection in your blood and you've got infection in your tissues. When you can clap for 15 minutes straight, and you can do it fairly hard, and it just goes red, because that's just logical that it would, you're not hurting yourself. You know what? You're stimulating so many things, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. Okay? So it will depend on who you are and what issues you have been suppressing in your tissues. All right? So the more and stronger the issues, the more damage to your tissues. So understand something. The more chronic the problem, the more crystallization, the more displaced calcium, and the more beef jerky you've got inside you. So understand something. I believe that everybody can be turned around. I believe that everybody can renew their life. Are you going to be patient enough? Are you going to be brave enough to move forward, to take massive personal action to self-care, self-love? Because that's what it's going to take. So now the different colors of your skin will show the different degrees of your blockages. Things may look bad, but this is part of the healing process. Oh my gosh. We have been so taught to run away from the healing process. We think that swelling, pain, inflammation is something terrible. It's not. It's part of the healing process. People don't get it, but when they get sick, they're exhausted and their body is in pain because they have abused it on an emotional and physical level. So it says, lay down, be quiet, think things over. And your body says, if I don't give you this pain, you're just going to stay on the pain train and run yourself over. So understand, the darker the color, the more blockages you have. Okay? The more painful it is, the more blockages you have. All right? Okay. So, pain is not the enemy when you learn to master it. Those who run from pain will eventually be on what? Codeine, morphine, and anything else that will dumb them down and numb out their emotions because they are becoming a human doing. Now, what do I mean about that? Well, you are a human being, okay? What do you want to be? And to be a human being, you have to understand that you are a light energy person. And when you can't process your emotions, you dumb them down. When you dumb your emotions down, then you dumb your tissues down. And this is where all the trouble is, okay? Clapping will help to enhance your immune system. Ready for this? Not just your immune system. It'll increase your T cells. It'll increase your telomeres and your stem cells. All this increased energy will help you to cough up congestion from infected cells and restore lung tissue. You may not believe this, but just by clapping and patting your heart will help you to release emotional issues in your heart. And it will also help to release blockages, which will increase flow of energy, oxygen, nutrition, and turn actual scar tissue in your heart to beautiful tissue. So understand, it's energy that creates life. And the more energy we generate within our tissues, the more energy we have and the more alive we feel. Okay, so you do get that, right? That less energy, low vibrational beings, and we become doings. High vibration, high energy, high frequency, unlimited energy. You take a look at people, the more stiff they are, the more inflamed they are, okay? The less energy they have. Things usually get bigger the unhealthier they become, okay? Even a star, when a star is ready to die, it expands before it explodes. Okay, so people, as they get bigger, right? Don't they get more unhealthier? Have less energy? Okay, what about fibroids? What about tumors? What about pimples? What about boils? What about everything I talked about? As the dis-ease gets bigger in you, the less energy you have. Now, how are you going to get that energy back? How are you going to get that physical block out of there? Clapping helps to warm up and loosen mucus congestion due to the increase in circulation, heat, and temperature generated in your lung area. So listen to this. People with hypertension and diabetes will often show lung problems. The removal of all blockages from within our lungs is crucial for restoring lung health and immunity. Hey, how many people do you know do anything to help themselves when they've got a lung problem or when they have a heart problem? They hardly do anything. And that's why I'm going to be showing you how to work your whole body. Okay? I'm going to give you a demonstration on how to clear the blockages from your lungs and heart today. Okay? Or let's see whether or not you have any blockages. But before we go, whenever I do, my head or I do any other part of my body, what's the one thing I do all the time? I do my vagus nerve. Okay? So what I do is, let me see here. I'll have to do it on this side. So what I do, you see this clapper here? It's got bumps on this side. That's mainly I will use the bumpy side when I do my head, and then I'll use the flat side. Or I'll use the bumpy side when I'm dealing with thicker tissue. I won't use the bumpy side when I'm doing, like, let's say, my knees or my ankles or my feet. But you can use the bumpy side when you're dealing with more thicker muscle and flesh. Okay? So when I do this area here, I don't use the bumpy side, and I'll go in and do the vagus nerve. Now, I can't really show it that well, but I want you to show you how hard I go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do under here, and I'm going to do this whole area and even to here so that I stimulate my vagus nerve. Now, why is that? Well, and I go fairly hard. I'll try to show you for a second here. So I'll go that hard. Now, when I first started this a long time ago, it felt like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I think it was my subconscious and just the thought of, wow. But once you start doing this and you feel the benefit of this, wow, the power. So when I do my vagus nerve, when you hit your vagus nerve like that, when you clap it, what you're doing is you are stimulating it to put you into more of a parasympathetic state. You know, most people they have such neck problems in here. And if you've got a neck problem, then guess what? Your vagus nerve is frozen, which means you stay in a sympathetic state. You don't go in a parasympathetic state. So I will always clap this area, and I'll clap it once or twice a day. It doesn't take much for me to do it. And it doesn't take long to loosen things up, or I'll do the back of my neck or wherever the case may be. And understand, your vagus nerve is called your wandering nerve. And your vagus nerve, that's why we want to do belly button therapy, because it triggers the vagus nerve more when you do belly button therapy than anything else. But I'll do my neck before I do my upper body or I do any part of my body, because I want to kick myself. I'll do the belly button therapy first, which is right here. So this is the first thing I do. And you can see that on my website if you go to Do It Yourself in YouTube, my videos, or you can go and you can read about this in the Perfect Day Guide, okay? But you want to do the belly button therapy first to trigger the parasympathetic, and then in this area, do the vagus nerve, and then you can do your lungs, okay? You don't always have to do it that way. It's just the way that I like it. Now, I would like to talk about the lung meridian, okay, which is an energy highway that runs from your lungs across your collarbone, okay? So here, from your lungs, it comes across your collarbone. This is the lung meridian. And then it runs down, watch me, it runs down the arm, okay, along the outer side of the elbow, and it comes right down to the thumb. And that happens on both. So here, cross the collarbone, on the outside of the arm, coming down all the way to the thumb, and that's your lung meridian. So we're going to focus on that, okay? Now, here's the deal. Where are we going to focus the most? Well, when we're working the lungs, you don't have to do the wrist, but you definitely want to do the elbow, okay? All right? Because of bending, we are more likely to get blockages in the joint areas of the body before anywhere else in the body, because where the bends are, the bends in your elbows or your shoulder or anywhere else, is where your lymph and blood will slow up, okay? So understand this. Let's say there was a river, and the river's flowing down, and all of a sudden it has a bend. Well, where would garbage collect? It would collect right at the bend of the river. So that's why, if you want to work with yourself, you need to understand. Like when we do Wolfe non-surgical on someone, they'll tell us, well, I've had this for 30 years. Nobody's ever been, I went to chiropractic, I went to massage, shiatsu, I went to acupuncture, I went to physiotherapy. And then guess what? In 20 minutes, and they just go, whoa. Because when you go in and you pull the scar tissue apart and you melt that crystallization and you move the calcium out of there so that it can be returned to the bones, and trust me, we can do this, then you can renew every joint in your body, every tissue in your body. So don't forget about the river bend. So that's why things collect there, okay? So where they say, oh, I've got tennis elbow, I've got carpal tunnel syndrome, okay? I've got a spine where the discs are thinning out. Well, no, they're not. They're dehydrated. And with Wolfe Non-Surgical, you know what? When we do someone's spine, takes us an hour, they will be 1 to 2 inches taller. How did we do that in an hour? Well, because we returned the discs back to normal. So understand something. You're not getting shorter. The discs in between your vertebrae are becoming beef jerky. Okay? All right. This is why Wolfe Non-Surgical has become known as the most powerful bodywork. And it has. We will always get older, but we do not have to get old. Cane, walker, wheelchair, depends, painkillers, and surgery will become your last option when Wolfe Non-Surgical and pelvic floor restoration and clapping and padding become part of your life, okay? Understand that all blockages are made up of scar tissue, crystallization, and displaced calcium. But remember, they were emotional issues before becoming issues in your tissues. Your lung meridian oversees your respiratory system. When this meridian becomes blocked, your energy becomes blocked. Your lung meridian runs all the way down. Are you ready for this? It runs down here, but guess what? It also runs all the way down from your lungs to your large intestine. This is why the lungs and the large intestine are so connected. So understand, when people say, I've got a lung problem, I go, get on the daily cleansing tea right now. And also get on Black Gold, get on Tummy Love, and let's do the ultimate coffee enema, and let's see what your lung problem's like. And then let's get that going, and then let's start stirring things up, because everything drains from the bottom, from the top down. Everything fills up from the bottom up. So you had a bowel problem before you had a lung problem. I hope you get this. I'm not saying the smoker's like that, because the smoker actually attacked his lungs, or somebody who worked in asbestos. So I didn't say that. So I'm always trying to cover myself here, because there's always going to be somebody going, well, what about smoking? You don't, but whatever. But the thing is, I know I'm right. That's the biggest thing. Okay? So understand, your lungs are directly connected to your large intestine. Okay? So let's get started. Okay? I think I've laid the groundwork here. So step 1, start by gentle clapping on the inner elbow for at least 15 minutes. Oh, there's nothing with that. You hardly even feel it, right? Remember, do the clapping in a normal rhythm, not too fast and not too slow. Okay, so you're not going to go, don't do that, and don't go. So it's this. And remember my wrist? Look at my wrist. So if you're not going to get a clapper, make sure you do this, because you're going to get tired out pretty quick. And I'm going to tell you something. When you start clapping, you're burning calories. Let me tell you, you're burning calories. This is a weight loss program. Okay? So once you have finished the clapping of your elbow, you will move up your arm to your armpit. But before we go, let's just show you. So you can put your arm on something if you want to rest it. Okay? Okay? Whether you're on the bed, whether you want to put it like a pillow on the counter, and then put your arm on. So you see how it's mind over matter, isn't it? Okay? Did you ever notice that people that are always talking about their pain are always in it? People get addicted to the pain, but pain becomes their enemy and their friend. It just takes up their whole day. People that are in pain all the time, they don't get a lot done, do they? So the thing is, I'm going to master my pain. I'm going to go in and use that whole GPS that is a God-given built-in system, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to restore my health. Now, I'm going pretty hard here, guys. Now, understand something. You don't have to do this. This is your body. I didn't tell you to do this. If you want to do this and be a brave heart and go and start, but start off gentle. Okay, now look at how hard I've went. Okay, see the redness? Okay, 15 minutes. But look at the first time, just go in and Stick your toe in the water. You know, nobody said to overdo it. Don't be overzealous. You know, there's either people that will hesitate, procrastinate, and never do anything. And then there's people that will just go and, oh yeah, Dr. Wolfe, I just want to heal myself. Boom, 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 boom. No, just slow down, slow down. Just go try it out. There's no rush. It's free. Nobody's charging you anything here, okay? Take your time, okay? So, once we've done that for 15 minutes, then we're going to come up where? We're going to come up to, okay? We're going to come up to the pectoral region. Now take a look. So, take a look at my palm of my hand in here. That is going to be right here. And right where my armpit is, that's where the fingers come in and are underneath. So we're going to do that for 15 minutes. Okay? Now, here's the deal. There, that's the right pace. Now here, I haven't done a lot of clapping here for a while, and I can feel this like stinging. Here, it was like was a different sting in here because I'm feeling like a needle sting, but that'll go away. So that's the right pace I'm doing right about now. But you go at the pressure that you feel is good for you, right? Now, let me say this. If you've got swollen or hard lymph nodes, start off slow and go below, just below the lymph nodes, and just do here, okay? So just do the pec and below the lymph nodes to start. If you increase the circulation here, and then if you have a clapper, I would do back here. So we haven't done under here where the lymph nodes are swollen or hard. So we're going to do pec right here. We're going to do underneath right here where the bra strap would be for most women. Okay. And then we're going to do the back just behind. Now, if you go and circle the area, what's that going to do for those lymph nodes? Soften them up. And then come in here just lighter and say, hello, I love you. And understand something. You got this. Step by step. Now, what we're going to be doing, okay, is we're going to be having, we'll let you know, everybody that has signed in, we're going to let you know of a closed Q&A for this. And it's not going to be on Facebook. It's not going to be on YouTube. But if you attended this show and you signed in and we've got your email, we're going to let you know we're doing this Q&A. And then it's only by invitation. And I'm going to go in and help troubleshoot more personal issues about this to get you started. All right? So, swollen lymph nodes, that's how we want to do it. And understand something. If you feel fat underneath your armpit, guess what? It's not fat. It's congestion. It just hasn't swollen the lymph nodes yet. And then guess what? That's going into your breasts. You can't have a breast problem unless you have a lymph problem. Say that to me. You cannot have a breast problem unless you have a lymph problem. Okay? You cannot have a lymph problem unless you have a bowel problem and liver problem. You see how it all backtracks? So now we've done this, and we've done this for 15 minutes. And remember what I said, if you don't feel you can go directly in there, then do 15 minutes around the area, and then tomorrow we'll go back and we'll take a look at this. This is called daily. This is about you working things daily. Okay? All right. So, step 3, start clapping and pounding your heart area. Okay, so what we're going to do, you can do it with your clapper. Okay, you can do it with your hand. And to start, and then you're going to do pounding. Why? When you do the pounding, it's going to shake everything up. It's going to loosen the congestion off the walls, isn't it? That's right. So first we're going to do clapping, and then we're going to do pounding. And you can start with patting if you want, just to get you psychologically prepared to do this. All right? And we're going to do 15 minutes on the area. If you have weak lungs, the objective here is to create a cough so that you can cough up the sputum and the infection that is stuck to your lungs. Okay? So, within 15 minutes of clapping an area if there is no green or black spots. Green, brown, or black spots. Okay? There's no blockages. Redness is normal. So let me explain this to you. If you do have green or black spots or brown spots, this shows that you may have toxins trapped within your lung tissue and may even have respiratory problems, which will lead to issues in your tissues such as viral infections. Okay? So look, I want everybody to get this. You know what? I went on and I did a one-a-day this morning, and I said, if you get brown spots on your body, okay, I said that that's mold. I said that that's caused because your bowel backed up, which backed up your liver, which backed up into your lymph system. And that's mold. Let me ask you a question. If you saw a piece of fruit and it had brown spots on it, that's not so bad. And it can be looking like it's starting to go bad, right? But it's not the end of the day like a banana, but you know it's on its way out, right? Now, if that banana starts to get green and black spots on it, you're not touching it. So what am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you that your tissues are contaminated and that, guess what? You've got what? Disintegration in your tissues. Your tissues are rotting. Now, those black and brown spots, look at it. See, it's just red still, guys. Those black and brown spots are showing you that you have dis-ease within the blood, the lymph, and the tissues. We want that out of there. And nobody's forcing you to do this, okay? So understand that. So don't force anyone else to do this either. Don't tell people they got to do this. Do it for yourself and prove it to yourself. And if somebody says, I don't want to do that, then don't make them do it, okay? This is not what this is about. This is about someone believing in what I'm saying. And if you don't believe in what I'm saying, then don't do it. All right. So understand, for common colds, flus, fever, coughs, and a runny nose, you will do padding and clapping on the inner elbows, the upper chest, and under the arms, and also the back. But you can't do it with your hand. But if you have a clapper, you're going to go right in between your scapula and your spine, and you're going to do the lung area. And that's what I'm hitting right now. And guess what? That's just below C7. Your C7 is a bump right at the top of your back. So you're going to just go below it, in between your scapula and your spine on both sides, and you're going to clap. And you're going to clap for 15 minutes. Now understand something. I hope you can get this. But when we have people coming here and we're teaching this, because that's what we do. If we come for a personal treatment and training, we're going to give you the whole training. You know, when people come here or we go there, or if you take one of my certification courses, whether, you know, it's a whole life coach certification or whether it's a Wolfe non-surgical, we teach you all our techniques. But understand something. A lot of people will do this for 15 minutes, but I'll tell you, we have people that will do this up to an hour. But you can't do it until you're physically and psychologically ready. And that's the deal, okay? So, padding and clapping, the inner elbows, right? Okay? Under the arm, the chest, okay? And then the back, all for 15 minutes. Now, as I said, if you had lymph nodes swelling or lymph nodes felt hard, then just encircle the area until you feel more comfortable, and then come in with light padding until you get your comfort, okay? All right. So, let's go back to the lungs. Due to sputum or mucus blocking our microcirculation, our cells will lack oxygen and nutrition. Clapping will enhance microcirculation, which then improves the supply of oxygen and nutrition. You should also do, please think about this, you should also do Lionheart breathing technique along with, what did I tell you earlier? The first thing you'll do is you'll do belly button therapy prior to doing the padding and clapping. You'll also do the Lionheart breathing while you're doing this, Because why? You want to work your diaphragm and you want to get as much oxygen in there as possible to create as much energy. So you should also do the Lionheart breathing technique along with belly button therapy to improve your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is right underneath your ribs, okay? And help enable you to cough up mucus congestion. If you've got a weak diaphragm, it's going to be hard for you to cough up. If you find you have green or black spots or brown spots, continue clapping the area, okay? So we'll come back to the lungs in a second. But if you've got brown, green, or black spots, okay, let's say I'm clapping here, and I see brown, green, or black spots, all right? Start to move up or down your body. Continue to chase after them. Continue to clap, moving upwards or downwards with the spots. So whether the spots are on your heart and you see them and the brown spots or green or black are moving down, then you follow it and you chase it. If it's going down your arm, you chase it and go after it and you work it until they're gone. If you find it going up, you chase it. And if you get too tired or you've had enough, then you're going to have to pick this up again tomorrow. So your goal is to have the whole area red, no green, no brown, no black spots. If you take a look, like I said, it's the same thing with food. You're not going to eat that food that has green, black, or brown spots on it. So we want to make sure that we get them all. So you chase them, okay? All right. So continue until the spots are gone so that healing can take place. It is better to do clapping for a longer period, one time, thoroughly, until the green and black spots are gone. All right? Than to come back later and do shorter periods. And understand something. This is why we have family. This is why we work together. You could get a family member to start doing it for you. Start clapping if you get tired. So partner up, because when we work together, teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork makes us healthy. And that's what we need to do. We need to come together as a family. So once these green and black spots leave, your respiratory system has been greatly strengthened. Okay? All right. So like I said before, if you've got a 20-foot hole, 5-foot ladder is not going to get you out of there. So be easy on yourself. Don't push yourself harder than you can handle it. But then, make sure that you're moving forward like the snail that could. You might be going slow, but at least move forward. And for you out there that you're overzealous and every time you do a cleansing program, you go hard at it and then you blow it, slow down. Connect to the Lionheart breathing. Do the belly button therapy. Slow yourself down and get into it. And don't work from your mind. Work from your gut. And you'll do it right. The next thing I would like to discuss with you is strengthening your diaphragm. Because without a strong diaphragm, you can't cough up anything. So now that we got everything stirred up, I'm going to show you how to cough it up. The breathing technique that I use to strengthen my diaphragm is the Braveheart belly breathing technique. Let me demonstrate it. Okay, so I'm going to take a deep breath in, 6 seconds. Right? And I'm going to fill it right in my belly. This is not a nose breath or a lung breath. You're going to fill it right up, right down to your belly. Okay? Not just your lungs. Then once you get the 6 seconds in, what are you going to do? Then you're going to exhale with quick, short, pulsing breaths until you have exhaled all the air. Okay, so here it is. Now that's going to make you cough. You see? We need to do that. That's the key. So I need you to practice this, okay? You may cough during or after this technique because you are eliminating viruses, sputum, and other infectious material. This is your goal. So did you get it? Do you want me to do it again? Watch. Fill up your abdomen. You want to get that going, right? Okay? It's up to you now to take massive personal action by implementing these heart and lung techniques into your perfect day. Okay? Clapping and patting is a great technique to use on children. When doing this technique on children, be sure to use soft and gentle padding. Soft, honey, I love you. You can also do the clapping and the padding along the child's spine. This can be done for 30 minutes in total on a child. Get their approval and do it to the point that you're explaining everything. Always take the time to explain to your child. You're trying to increase the heat, to increase the circulation. And why their spine? Because if you do this on anybody's spine, oh my gosh, you have no idea how it can help to fix the spine, increase the spinal fluid, increase the information to the brain. That's what it's all about. So also take a look at strategies. What strategies? Go to the Perfect Day Diet, like I said earlier, by going to my library and looking in the Perfect Day Guide. Or you can send an email to me to quickstart@docofdetox.com, and I'll send you my 7 empowering steps, and it's in there. Also, take a look at advanced water fasting, and also take a look at the ultimate coffee enema. Now, a clapper. So why should you buy a clapper? Well, basically, because it does a lot of work for you, and it reaches a lot of areas that you can't. And over time, I'm going to be showing you how to work this thing, okay? Lionheart breathing should be done throughout the day. Please do not forget to practice your Lionheart breathing throughout your day, every day. And when you're doing Lionheart breathing, make sure that you have your nebulizer with you. Remember what I taught you earlier? And that is to nebulize the Bright Eyes Fulvic Nano eye drops and to nebulize the Silver Bullet spray. And understand something. Anybody can nebulize. Anybody can do this. All right? You can look how to do this on my do-it-yourself on YouTube. All right? It shows you how to nebulize your lungs. Okay, now, I want to talk to you about some things that are really important here. First of all, let's talk about this, Fresh and Clean. This here is a fulvic spray that we use, and you spray it under your armpits. Why do you do that? Well, it absorbs the smell. That's one thing, but that's not why we do it. The reason why we use this Fresh and Clean, I'll tell you why. Because it actually goes in your armpits, into your lymph nodes, and it picks up the toxins in there. So what do you think is going to happen when you clap? You're going to stir things up. You're going to get the blood supply going. You want to spray this as much as possible and detoxify those lymph nodes. And guess what? Women with breast cancer, people with lung congestion, people with lymph problems, don't do it. Everybody should be doing this. This is the art of amazing health. Why aren't they teaching it? Well, because it would definitely crush the pharmaceutical companies out there. The more that you take personal action, the less their bottom line is, okay? Next thing I want to show you, and that's called Pain Away. This here is called Pain Away Spray. And I want to tell you something. When you've worked and you feel tenderness and pain, you want to spray this as often as you can anywhere, whether it's here or anywhere else on your body as we do this training, okay? All right? And you can use Pain Away Spray anytime that you have inflammation. What do you think it does? It draws the inflammation out, okay, so that it's not overinflamed, so it reduces the pain, okay? It also pulls out heavy metals and toxins, and the Fresh and Clean does the same thing with the armpit, with your lymph nodes, okay? All right, next thing I want to talk about is DMSO. So here's the deal. On the joint area of the body, we would use DMSO gel, and you only use a little dab. I mean, it's like just could sit on the head of a needle. You don't need much at all. DMSO gel is made from trees, and it goes in and increases the circulation. And why do we want that? Well, it helps with the decrystallization. It helps with the decalcification, and it helps with the circulation of the beef jerky to help to make it become more connective tissue. Now, that's on the joint area, and this is called DMSO cream, rose cream, and this would be more just on the tissue area because it's not as strong. And you can even use a little bit on your face of DMSO, but it's mainly not for that, it's for the rest of the body, okay? All right, so the DMSO increases circulation, which helps to reduce pain, okay, and helps to heal things quicker. The next thing I want to talk about, because we're working on the breast area, is I want to talk about orange burst. Did you know that concentrated pure essential oil of orange, which is called our orange burst, is one of the best things you can do for any type of breast inflammation all the way to cancer. And this is something that we've known for years. And you also want to use, okay, remember what essential oils do. They bring up the vibration, they bring up the circulation, they bring up the healing. You can also use frankincense. So you want to reverse it. One day use orange, next day frankincense. Why do you do that? Because you want to confuse the dis-ease, the tissue dis-ease. You want to use these things, and it's about bring up the vibration. Everything is about bringing back circulation, bring up the vibration, because the higher you bring the vibration up, the less disease you're going to have in the body. For healing, we use what's called moringa oil. So this is structured 100% concentrated organic moringa oil. And what we do is we'll use that to massage. Now, I won't be showing it here, but in our personal treatment and training, when we do it for people and in our course, we teach you or we teach your husband how to go in and massage that breast with the essential oils, the moringa oil. And there's a technique I do to drain, okay, and to actually detoxify the tissue. And you want to do that, okay? We don't show that online because it's more personal. So when people come, we teach them on a one-on-one basis, all right? But, you know, you could start doing it. Get your husband to start massaging the moringa oil in and to start using the essential oils. You know, those beautiful breasts of yours need your love and they need your care. And that's all I want to say, okay? And then Pain Away Essential Oil. Pain Away Essential Oil is, let's say if you're feeling pain, you know, you would also use this. You don't use it with the DMSO. You use them apart from each other. But the DMSO you might just put on there 2 to 3 times a day, whereas the Pain Away you can put on there every 15 minutes to every half an hour, right? And if you feel like a little bit of irritation or you feel like it's getting dry, the area, then you would put the moringa oil on to soothe it, okay, to moisturize it, because moringa oil has more nutritional value than any other oil. And then as the pain is leaving, you want to use something that's called Muscle Restore. Muscle Restore goes in and it just makes sure the tissue heals properly, okay? And again, you can put that on every 15 minutes, every half an hour, or when you think about it. And you want to carry your essential oils with you. And you want to put them on often. People, I will say, well, what are you doing? Well, I put it on 3 times a day. No, I want you to put it on 2 times an hour minimum. And if you do that, you'll increase the healing, and the healing will be better because your body thinks it should have calcification. It should have scar tissue formation. It should have crystallization. And we need to teach it, no, that's not the program we're running anymore. We can heal now. We don't need all of these, the scar tissue, the crystallization, the calcification to block off everything because we're bringing up the vibration. We're taking massive personal action. Okay, what else do you want to do? Well, I tell everyone, before, you don't have to do this, but I tell them they should do this, that before you do the clapping, you want to do skin brushing. Get rid of the dead skin cells off of you. And I'm going to be doing a full skin brushing video, okay? You'll see it up online. It'll go into do-it-yourself and YouTube eventually, but you want to skin brush the area that you do before you clap. If you have time. If you don't have to. All right? The other thing is you can also do what we call Epsom salt glow. This is Epsom salts. What you're going to do before you do your clapping, okay, to get the circulation going, is you can actually take the area. What you do is you take Epsom salt, wet it down to the consistency of beach sand, wet beach sand, and you'd use a structure water unit. I don't have a structure water unit here. But you would use a structure water unit to do that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to just lightly scrub the whole area to increase the circulation. Wow, cool, eh? That's what it does. And why? So, and what we do is I will take structure water, wet the Epsom salts down, and to the consistency of sand. And then what I do is I put in there, what do you think I put in there? Muscle Restore, tons of it. And I put that right into the Epsom salts and mix it in, because you want all of that support and help. and I'll scrub first, and then I'll do my clapping. You don't always have to do that, but especially in stubborn areas, you'd want to do that, okay? All right. Now, next, the other thing I'm going to talk about is when you're dealing with scar tissue problems, you want to take a look at a product called FiberClear. FiberClear is a systemic enzyme that goes in and it eats up things that shouldn't be there, okay? Like trapped protein particles, congestion in your lymph nodes, scar tissue, all right? Things of that nature. I mean, there are people that I have right now that are taking 10 of these 5 times a day because they have so much bad scar tissue in their body. And what they're doing is they're actually on advanced water fasting, or they're on the perfect day diet, or they're definitely not on any dairy products or inflammatory products or any animal products because they're opening up their circulation to eat up everything that doesn't need to be in there. And the next thing we do is we also put people on curcumin cayenne. These curcumin and cayenne are the 2 most important herbs that you can do for reducing inflammation, increasing circulation, and bringing down infection. I mean, this is used from everything from constipation to cancer around the world. All right? Do your research on it, okay? Next thing I want to talk about is daily cleansing tea. We talked about that earlier. Look, get the cork out of your butt. If you were to do daily cleansing tea morning and night, man, do you have any idea how you will feel? It's amazing. There's no stimulants, no laxatives. Please check it out, okay? These are all just supportive tools, everyone. Don't buy them, do buy them, doesn't matter, okay? All right, and then we talked about the nebulizer. And the next thing is for those of you who own a Bioptron, this is a Bioptron right here. You can see it, okay? That's a Bioptron. Or for those of you who own an Avicen, I'll tell you something right now. Make sure that you do your Avicen, okay? All right, make sure that you do your Avicen if you have time, definitely after you do your clapping. If you have time and you've got a chronic condition going on, do it before and do it after you do your clapping. You wait till you see the amazement of this. This thing increases your circulation by 66%, 100% more than any other energy medicine device in the world. And then the Bioptron puts all the light energy in, and that'll increase it by 34%. So between these two and between the clapping, between the diet and everything else, why can't you heal yourself? You can. You can do this. The clapping technique that I just showed you will light the fire for you to want more. Okay? So understand something, everybody. You will want more if you do this. Just have faith in yourself. Have faith in your healing. Have faith in your Creator. All right? And know that I will be bringing more clapping sessions, and they will only be, okay, up on the library. You'll have to go and log into the library. If you tell anyone, they got to go to the library to watch these, because you have to give yourself permission to learn this technique. All right? And understand something. Once you start doing this, you're going to want more. You're going to want to check out our personal treatment and training and our certification courses at itioh.com, which stands for International Training Institute of Health. Understand something. There's a hidden practitioner in all of us. Okay? Whether you want to believe this or not, we have doctors, chiropractors, nurses, lay people, people that have always wanted to be a health practitioner but didn't know they didn't have to get a second mortgage and they didn't have to go to school for years. And I promise you the most powerful training when you come to us. Our training's 21 days. And that's if you take, okay, the Wolfe Non-Surgical and the Whole Life Coach certification course. And understand something. I don't care if you've been in the business for 30, 40 years. We're going to blow your mind. And if you haven't been in the business at all, we're going to support you and make sure that you are successful, whether or not you're just wanting to be the light for your family or you want to start your own natural health practice. Okay? So understand, with personal treatment and training, we'll come to you, to your whole family, and we'll teach your family on how everybody can come together and work on each other. Okay? Wouldn't that be amazing that if you're in trouble, your wife can help you, your husband, your child has a technique that they can help you and support you? Look at, this is the reason why we're in trouble today. It's because we said to everyone else, we're just going to sit on the couch. We're just going to freak out. We're just not going to take any action. Well, you better take action. You better take massive personal action, or guess what? You'll lose more than your health. So check out our Whole Life Coach certification, our Wolfe non-surgical certification, and come and become a pelvic floor practitioner trainer. Because whether you want to believe this or not, everything in your pelvis, that's the holy grail. Your large intestine down and in your pelvis, okay, it holds all the secrets. And I'm going to teach you. So over the next couple of months, I will be showing how to work every part of your body with the clapping and patting technique. Watch for updates on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And just know that there is a hidden practitioner within all of us. So unleash the power to heal and have a beautiful day each and every day. Create the perfect day. So thank you for joining me, everyone. But understand something. We're only getting started. So make sure that you order your Doc of Detox clapper from our website. You can use your hands like you just saw, but the reality is they're going to get tired. This is so easy to do. And once you break it in, okay, you're going to live again. Let me tell you something. Clapping is so powerful. So if you haven't ordered your Doc of Detox clapper, do it now and unleash the physical bonds that bind you, because we will be starting the whole clapping series September 7th. Long weekend. Right after that, we're kicking it off. Make sure you join us. I'm going to show you how to do the whole body. I'm going to show you how to do every different type of body condition, the best that I know how, and using clapping and using the other things that I've learned throughout my life. Okay? So like I said, thank you for joining me today, because this is a very important time in our lives and we need to take our power back. Also, join me for my 6-day advanced water fasting challenge starting on Thursday, September the 10th. You're not going to want to miss this. How would you like to unleash, okay, the most powerful part of you, which is stem cell therapy? How would you like to go into autophagy, where you go in and you eat up cancer cells and dead cells and cells that just don't have the energy to actually heal themselves anymore? But how would you like to unleash the healing power of stem cells? That's what we're going to show you. Whether you participate in the 6-day advanced water fasting challenge or you just watch us this time, whether you do 1 day or 6 days or you go further, just remember something. Your potential is unlimited. And also, if you'd like to have my quick start, if you'd like to have my 7 empowering steps, go to quick start at docofdetox.com. And don't forget, everyone, okay, that the power is already with you. It's inside of you. Look inside, because that's where the answers are. And when watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe below and make sure you click on the bell to enable notifications so that you never miss a show. All our shows and our Q&As are time-stamped so that you can find your question or topic easily. Also, if you wish to listen to our audio version of any of our shows, you can find them on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And again, thank you to all my listeners who make this show possible. And never forget, this is your show, and we are here to serve you. God bless everyone. And remember this, take your power back. But better still, let's stop giving it away. And remember, 3, 2, 1, together we got this, because teamwork makes the dream work. God bless. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.